Hey, what's going on everybody? Paul Tech here, and welcome to my unboxing and full detailed review of the isinwheel R6 electric bike. Now I want to send a big thank you to isinwheel. They did send the e-bike out to me for a review so I can share my experience with all of you. So thank you very much, isinwheel. What I want to do is take you back a couple days ago when the e-bike first arrived. So I'm going to go ahead and share with you the full unboxing experience here, the assembly, and then I'm going to go ahead and jump into the full review and go ahead and test out the speed, the range, hill climbing capabilities, the suspension. I'm going to give you all that information in this video. But first of all, let's go ahead and open up the box here. All right, so as you can see here, the box arrived in pretty good condition via FedEx. And you have these yellow straps, 3 of them there. That's going to keep the box from opening up when it is being delivered, which is really nice here. I'm going to go ahead and get all these straps cut here. Go ahead and remove the straps, and then we'll go ahead and open up the top portion of the box here. Now, this is a very big box, and it's pretty heavy. I think it's close to about 100 pounds, this box here. All right, so I'm super excited for this one, guys. This is going to be one of those retro cafe style of e-bikes that we got here. But opening up the box, let me go ahead and bring the camera in closer, and I just want to share with you how everything is packaged here right when you open up the box. As you can see, you got the sides reinforced there with cardboard. You got a box right there, a smaller box. Then you got styrofoam to the inner portion there. You also get a storage bag included with the purchase here. Now, like I said, this is a pretty heavy box, and I would definitely recommend getting a second person to help you get the e-bike out of the box. It'll just be a little bit easier on your back. But this is pretty much how the e-bike looks once you take it out of the box. You got 2 smaller boxes there that is going to have some accessories, which we'll go through, a storage bag. Let me get all the zip ties off real quick here. And with the purchase of the R6, you are going to get a bike pump included, which has different attachments, which is really nice. All right, so let's go ahead and open up this first box here. Now, opening up this box, you are going to get this really large headlight for your R6. Now, you will have to assemble this, which I'll show you how to do it in this video, but it looks really nice. Now, moving on from there, you get this secondary box, and opening up this box, you got a wide variety of items here, like a tool bag. You got your foot pedals, a reflector, as well as your charger for your R6. Let's go ahead and take a look at that charger. And when it comes to this charger here, it is a 2-amp charger, and the battery is 48 volt at 13 amps. So it should probably take around 7 hours to fully charge up your R6 battery. You also get this side fender here, which you'll have to install on your R6 as well. And then moving on from there, you got your user manual, and as you can see, it's going to give you all the information when it comes to the assembly of your R6. So definitely take a look at this manual here. It's going to show you exactly how to install the headlight, the handlebars, the wheel. It's going to give you all that information. It'll also give you information when it comes to the display, and also when you have to go into the P settings. So if you want to, enable cruise control, it shows you how to do that here. Change miles per hour to kilometers. Let's go ahead and go to the assembly process here. First thing what you want to do is loosen up this screw here, and then you're going to turn this towards the front of the bike. And then once you do that, you go ahead and retighten that screw. You want to make sure it's nice and snug. And then once you do that, you want to go ahead and tighten the bolt on the right-hand side and the left-hand side. Now, all the Allen wrenches are going to be included in the tool bag that comes with the R6 in the box. All right, so next part of the assembly is removing the 4 bolts that is holding the clamp, as you can see there. So what you want to do is remove the 4 bolts, remove the clamp, and then you're going to go ahead and install the handlebars in this direction, as you can see that I'm doing here. Now, once you get the handlebars on, go ahead and install the clamp as well as the 4 bolts. Now, what you want to do here is make sure that mark, that bullseye, is right on the middle of the opening of the clamp. That's how you know you have the handlebars on correct and they're going to be aligned. So just get those bolts nice and tight. Moving on, we're going to go ahead and do the front fender assembly. So what you got to do here is remove the pre-installed bolt that's on the fork. So you're going to go ahead and remove the bolt. What's cool about this is I am seeing Loctite already pre-applied, which is good. All right, so the next step is installing the front fender, just as you see in that direction that I'm installing it. What you want to do next is remove the bolts that are pre-installed on the fork legs. So you're going to remove the bolts on the right and left-hand side, and then you can go ahead and install that silver bottom portion of the fender there to the front forks with those bolts that you just removed. And again, you're going to do this exactly for the right and left-hand side, just as you see. Then once you get that all done, you got your front fender assembled, and you should be good to go when it comes to front fender assembly. All right, so next I'm going to go ahead and remove this piece of hardware that's on the bottom of the front forks there. So I'm going to go ahead and remove that. Now you don't need to keep this piece of hardware. You can go ahead and just get rid of it. And now we can go ahead and start working on the tire installation. I'm going to remove that cover there. And then what you want to do is loosen up the bolts that are on the right and left-hand side. Now, you don't want to remove them completely. You just want to loosen them up almost like you're going to remove it. Then you can go ahead and install the tire to the R6 there. Now, once you do that, what you want to do is adjust the safety washers so they catch the eyelets on the fork legs. So you want to make sure there's a little gap, a little opening there, that the washer is attached to that, and then go ahead and tighten up the bolts on the front wheel there. You're going to do that for the right and left hand side. Again, check the user manual, look at that. There's a picture there that will show you exactly how to install this front wheel, but this is basically how you do it. All right, so moving on to the headlight assembly. So you're going to see this bracket to the right and left hand side. You're going to go ahead and loosen the bolts on the bracket, then raise up the bracket, and then you're going to go ahead and retighten the bolt. So you're going to do this again for the right and left hand side. Once you do that, grab your headlight. You're going to go ahead and remove this bolt from the side of the headlight, align it to the bracket, and then reinstall the bolt now to the headlight and bracket. You're going to do this for the right and left hand side. Then get your Allen wrench and retighten the bolt there. And again, do this for the right, left hand side. And then you can go ahead and connect the headlight. You're going to align the arrows to the connectors and connect the headlight now. All right, so there is this cover here, which I already installed, but you'll see that there, that cover is going to go right there. All right, next you want to go ahead and install the pedals. Just make sure you're putting the right on the right, the left on the left, and rotating it in its proper direction, whether it's clockwise or counterclockwise, it'll tell you there. And then you're going to have to install this fender to the side. I already went ahead and did it, but basically you're going to remove the two bolts on the bottom, then use those bolts to apply the fender, and then there's a screw on top of the fender. Remove the screw and then use that screw to apply the fender. Next, you got these covers here, these caps. So these are going to go to the front forks. So all you got to do is just press down and they'll snap right in. And again, do that to the right and left hand side. Just press down and it should go right in. Moving on from there, you got these covers here, which is going to go to the back bolt of the wheel there, right there. So all you got to do is just press and just push those in to the right and to the left hand side. And that's basically it for the assembly. Just make sure all the bolts are nice and tight before your first ride. Charge up your battery 100% before your first ride. And you're going to want to go ahead and put air into the tires. If you're unsure of the air pressure, it does say it on the wheels to the front and back. But take a look. This is the end result here of the isinwheel R6 fully assembled. It looks really, really good in my opinion. I like the cable management. It's nice and covered there. You get the big headlight to the front, which I'll be testing out a little bit in this review here. And then it definitely has that retro cafe style design to it. Absolutely love it. Front fork suspension there. You can see the front fender that I applied. And then you got the CST Big Boat 20 by 4 inch puncture proof tires here. 180 millimeter rotors. You got your mechanical disc brake to the front. And this just looks so nice in my opinion. It looks really good. I love this style of e-bikes. Now with the storage bag there, I went ahead and applied that already, so it just fits perfect there to that open space to the front of the e-bike, and that is included free with the purchase. You can see the battery, and it just sits perfect within the frame right there. And this does have rear suspension as well. Nice beefy kickstand, and again that 20 by 4 inch rear tire, 180 millimeter rotor, and then you also got your back mechanical disc brake. Got that really nice leather saddle for the seat. And then moving on to the other side, you got the 7-speed Shimano drivetrain right there. You also got the tourney derailleur, and then you also got the derailleur guard. Looks like a really nice setup there. You got reflectors to the front and rear tires. As you can see, the spoke tires you got there. You can see the crank set as well. And overall, I am very pleased. I'm very impressed with the look of this e-bike here. It looks so nice. I love, like I said earlier, this retro cafe style e-bike. As you've seen, the assembly doesn't take very long. Just take your time, and the assembly is pretty simple for the most part. And if you're wondering how much is this e-bike, right now it's being sold on Amazon for $669. All right, so you're also going to get 2 sets of keys with the R6. Now these keys are basically the same. They're used for locking and unlocking the battery. Now when you unlock the battery, you can go ahead and slide up the battery out of the frame, so the battery is removable. You got isinwheel branding there. It does have some pretty good weight to it. Now with this battery here, you can check the battery level right there by a press of the button. And this battery is also UL certified, so you definitely want an UL certified battery when it comes to an e-bike, and you got that here. You got this cover, which is going to be covering your charging port, so you can charge this battery on or off the R6. Either way you can go here. But with this battery here, again, it's a 48 volt, 13 amp hour battery. You got some battery information to the bottom there. Now the R6 comes in with a weight of 83 pounds. So if you needed to, put this e-bike into your car, lift it up some stairs, you can go ahead and remove the battery, and that will lighten up the R6 there if you need to. But basically, if you want to put the battery back in, slide it into the frame, then get the key and go ahead and lock the battery. So make sure you lock the battery before you go riding so the battery doesn't move on you. But once it's locked in there in the frame, and it's not coming out. And when you're ready to ride the R6, you do not need the keys in the battery. Just flip the switch on when you're ready to ride, and flip the switch off when you're done riding. So you do not need the keys in the battery to operate this bike. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the handlebars here. Really nice set of handlebars, and you have some nice grips here, which definitely have some nice texture to it. And it has a nice palm rest on the ends of those grips there, which is really nice to see. Then you have your mechanical brake lever right there. And then to the left-hand side, you have all your controls right there. So I'm going to go ahead and power on the display. I'm going to go ahead and long press on the power button, and that will turn on the display. Now, once the display is on, I'm going to go ahead and share with you, if you turn on your headlight, you will get an icon that shows on the display. So just one press will turn on the headlight, one press will turn off the headlight. Now, you also get turn signals on board here. When you activate the turn signals, you'll get an icon to the right upper corner or to the left upper corner as well. So you'll be able to know if those headlights are on. You also got a horn on board here. Sounds pretty loud in my opinion. And then when it comes to switching up the riding modes here, you got the controls with the top arrow. That will increase the riding modes from 1, 2 to pedal assist 3, which is the top level there. Then when you want to lower back down, just press the bottom arrow there, and then you can cycle down through the pedal assist mode. And then if you press this button right here, that will cycle through your trip and odometer. So you have those two options to choose from. And then you have your display here. It's a really nice looking display, nice and easy to see your miles per hour right there, your pedal assist mode that you're in, and then again, your trip or odometer. And then you got the battery percentage bars to the far right-hand corner. To the side, you also have a micro USB port right there, so you can charge up your device on the go if you'd like to. And then to the right-hand side, you got your 7-speed Shimano shifter right there. So, you can shift downwards, shift upwards, real nice and easy to reach. And then you also got your brake lever right there. And then with this specific bike here, you get a half twist throttle. So half twist throttle, which we'll definitely be testing out just a little bit here in this review. And then you get your grip right there with the nice palm rest. Overall, it's a really nice set of handlebars you got here. I really like the fact that you have additional space right there for mounting accessories if you need to. And when it comes to the rear brake light, whenever you pull on the brake levers, it will activate and it gets this bright red color that you have there. And then you have a reflector underneath the brake light. And what's also really nice to see on the R6 here is right and left side turn signals. So as you can see, I'll go ahead and turn off the right side and then activate the left side turn signal. And it's pretty bright outside right now. And as you can see the turn signal. It's activated, it's flashing. Really good to see there that you have that to the brakes. Also to the front headlight, you have right and left side turn signals. And just take a look at how cool this light looks, as well as the turn signals. So you'll definitely be seen in the daytime if you activate the right and left turn signals there. All right, so let me go ahead and just share with you how I look sitting on the isinwheel R6, my posture. This has a seat height of 31 inches. I'm 5'7". My feet can reach the ground perfectly fine, and it's a very comfortable position for me. Again, this is kind of that cafe style racer type, so your arms are going to be tilted downwards just because the handlebars aren't very high, so they're more at a lower position. But overall, I fit comfortable at 5'7" on this bike here. Now we're going to go ahead and get into the speed test here. So I'm going to go ahead and set this with 0 power and see how well I can pedal this bike just with my own power. So not using the throttle, not using the motor. So with me pedaling the bike, it actually is not very difficult. Having the 7-speed drivetrain there will definitely help out. You can switch up, the gears, but I'm definitely pedaling this bike at a comfortable 9 miles per hour. So yeah, if you needed to pedal this bike, you could definitely do so, and it doesn't seem all that uncomfortable to pedal. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and bump this up to pedal assist 1 now. I'm not going to use the throttle. I'm just going to pedal and just see how fast I can get. So I'm going to start pedaling, and it takes about 2 to 3, I would say 2 rotations, 2.5, and then that motor kicks in. And then I'm going to go ahead and see how fast I can get here. So it looks like I can reach about 15 miles per hour on pedal assist 1 of just me pedaling, no throttle whatsoever. And you can definitely feel that motor kicks in. It's pretty torquey. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and bump this up to pedal assist 2 now. Again, no throttle, just me pedaling. Took about 2 rotations, and then the motor, you feel that power hit. And again, this motor definitely has a lot of power. 1000 watt rear hub motor, 1500 peak, and I'm reaching speeds of 19 miles per hour. Bumping this up to pedal assist 3 now, I am reaching speeds of 26, 27 miles per hour. I'm running out of road here. 27 miles per hour, and isinwheel claims you can reach on pedal assist mode 3, 28 miles per hour. So I'm only 1 mile off, which is not too bad. So I'm going to run this test again, just going the opposite direction, pedal assist 3, and just pedaling. So that took about 3 rotations, and then that motor kicked in. I'm already at 17, 18, 20 miles per hour, 22. I am noticing the display stay at 20, but my GPS display is showing 25. See if we can get 26. You got 26 there. See if we can get 27. And there we go. We got 27 miles per hour on pedal assist mode 3. So with this e-bike here, it ships as a class 2 e-bike. So throttle is going to go up to 20 miles per hour. That's the highest. And then pedal assist mode is going to kick you up to the 28 miles per hour. Now I did go underneath the settings, and I did do some adjustments there under the P settings. And I think I got this display to show a higher reading now. But this is going to be a California, compliant e-bike. I live in California, so I got to stay compliant. Throttle only 20, but pedaling up to 28 miles per hour. That's new law in California. So I'm doing throttle here at 20. I'm gonna start pedaling now. I'm pedaling, and so again, it takes about 2 to 3 rotations for that motor to kick in, but once it does, you feel the power of the motor. It takes off underneath you, and as you can see, I'm at 25. Display is showing 27, 28 miles per hour now, and I'm at 26, 27 miles per hour. So yeah, you can definitely reach those advertised speed that isinwheel claims on their website of, again, throttle 20, pedal assist mode 3, 28 miles per hour. All right, so next I'm going to go ahead and do the throttle test here. So I'm in mode 1, just using throttle, not pedaling, and I'm reaching a top speed of 9 miles per hour. I'm going to go ahead and bump this up to mode 2 now, and as you can see, the display on the R6 and the one on my phone, they pretty much match 14 miles per hour, so that's on, throttle only in mode 2. Bumping this up to mode 3 now, as you can see, I'm already at 20 miles per hour. So, this bike has a lot of power. Again, a 1,000 watt rear hub motor, 1,500 watt peak, 80 newton meters of torque. So you got a lot of power underneath here. Now what I want to do next is do a hill climb test. So this is a hill that I go on quite often. So one thing I like about e-bikes, because normally I'm riding electric scooters, but with electric scooters, you can't really help it out because you're standing on that platform. It has no pedals. I guess you can kick it. But with the e-bike here, you can help the e-bike out. You can help the motor out if you're going up a very steep hill, if it needs it. Now with the R6 here, I got a full charge battery, 100%, and it's just climbing up this hill with no problem at 20, 19. We might see it dip down a little bit in speed, 18, but it's not losing much speed here. But again, the fuller the battery, the more power it's going to have. It dipped down to 17. So one thing I did notice with this e-bike here, I took it up a couple other hills. So as the battery gets lower, and so will your top speed, and so will your power. So just keep that in mind, and that's pretty much across the board with a lot of e-bikes I notice. If you got a full charge, you're going to get full power. But again, the battery goes lower, it's going to, reduce in power. But you have the capability of pedaling up a lot of these hills. And once you start pedaling on this bike, you can feel that power. So you should be good on hills with this bike here. But now moving on to the saddle here. This e-bike has a very, very comfortable leather seat. It's very, very high quality in my opinion. And then you also get the rear suspension sitting underneath the seat there. Now for me, when I'm riding this e-bike here, I've been testing it out a couple days. It's been a very, very comfortable ride. When you sit on it, you feel that spring action. You get a little bounce, and it's comfortable. I let my son ride it, let my wife ride this bike, and the first response was, wow, this seat is comfortable. I really like the rear suspension. And again, the leather seat, it's nice, it's plush, it's good material, and it's going to be a comfortable ride if you decide to get this bike. And I got no complaints with the seat or suspension. Now when it comes to the front suspension here, as you'll see, you get plenty of travel here. It's non-adjustable, so you can't adjust the preload or anything like that, but it's a good solid front fork suspension. No issues there whatsoever. So I did do a little bit of off-roading here, just testing it out. And this e-bike can definitely handle some terrain like this where there's some dirt, there's some grass. I was riding on the bike lane, and then the bike lane just basically disappeared, and then I'm riding on this, gravel road here on the side, and it handled perfectly fine. So you're going to get the 20 by 4 inch. You got puncture proof CST tires here, and it's more of a smooth groove tread, which provides more of a quiet ride. So it's not like the knobby off-road tires. But this e-bike is definitely capable if you need to go off the bike lane and go into some gravel, go into some dirt, a little bit of mud there. You should be perfectly fine on this e-bike here if necessary. Now when it comes to the throttle response on the R6 here, I would say there's about maybe a 1 second delay when you pull the throttle. That's about it. Other than that, you pull the throttle. Sometimes you might not notice it. just because it's about a second delay. But for me, you know, reviewing the bike is something I wanted to point out. This bike is also very nimble. It's easy to hit corners, you know, carve out on this bike. It is a lot of fun. You really don't feel the weight of the bike. I know it says it weighs 83 pounds, but honestly, I don't feel like it does weigh 83 pounds. Maybe it's just because it's proportioned very well with the weight distribution, but you know, 83 pounds is the weight of the bike. Now the max payload is going to be 330 pounds here. So for my weight, with all the gear that I have on right now with my backpack, I'm 220 pounds. And the R6 here has no problems getting me to where I need to go. This motor is more than capable, more than powerful enough to push me along. So if you're about 200 pounds or even more than 200 pounds, again, max payload is 330 pounds, you're not going to have any issues with this bike getting you to where you need to get to, because there's more than enough power here with that rear hub motor. One thing I noticed also, pedaling this bike is fairly easy. You know, if you're in pedal assist 1, 2, or 3, pedaling is, it's actually comfortable to pedal this bike. I've used other e-bikes in the past where pedaling was just not fun. You didn't want to do it. But for me, I actually enjoy pedaling this e-bike. It's comfortable to pedal. So it's nice to have the throttle and a comfortable bike you can pedal at the same time. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about that front light on the R6. Now, this is probably the brightest light I've used on an e-bike, an electric scooter. This front light is super, super bright. It's even brighter than my Grom clone. I got an Ice Bear Mini Max, very, very similar to a Grom. This light is brighter than that. And you'll see in just a moment here, I'll back up, but it has a really long throw and it's super wide. So it's just basically lighting up the entire alleyway here. And even the brake light is very, very bright. You can see it's reflecting the red to the ground there. So you're not going to have any issues with being seen or you seeing in front of you when you are riding at night. A lot of times I have to add additional lights to my scooters or e-bike, but not the case with this one. This light is more than capable of lighting up the road for me. So isinwheel did an excellent job with the lumens on the front light as well as the brake light. Very, very bright in my opinion. And moving on to the range now. So with the isinwheel R6, again, the battery is a 48 volt, 13 amp hour battery at 624 watt hours. So the temperature that I was riding in was in the low 40s. I weigh, again, about 220 pounds with my gear. And I was in pedal assist mode 2 and 3. So pedaling half the time and using throttle the other half of the time at a max speed of about 20 miles per hour. And I was able to achieve 25 miles of range. But again, your miles will vary depending on the terrain and the hills and the weather conditions. So just keep that in mind. I also did notice that there is some voltage sag with the battery. So when you are pedaling, you are using the throttle, the battery level does go down, but then once you stop or you get off the bike, you'll notice the battery will, you know, spike up again, and then you have more battery than what was shown when you're riding. So keep that in mind. Also, when it comes to these brakes here, I noticed out of the box, I thought I was going to have to do some adjustments to the brakes, and the brakes were okay. But as I started using the brakes more and more, I started to notice they started improving, better stopping power. So overall, the mechanical disc brakes seem to work perfectly fine for me. But that's pretty much it. That is my full review of the isinwheel R6. That's my experience of using it. Hopefully this video does help you out in your purchasing decision. In my opinion, I think this is a fantastic value. You get a lot of good components here with the R6, and it's priced right at $669. I honestly think you're getting a good quality product for that price, and I highly recommend. All right, everybody, if you're interested in this e-bike, I'll drop a link in the description below of this video. And once again, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing to the channel. This is Paul Tech, and I'll talk to you on the next one. Bye.